I'd like to begin this press conference by announcing that today the Ohio Christian Alliance has filed suit to the Ohio Supreme Court to challenge the action by Governor Strickland and the Lottery Commission. And our attorney has spelled that out in the complaint that is here today. Also, we are seeking a injunctive order by a temporary restraining order that we've asked the court today and asked them to move expeditiously on this, seeing how tomorrow is the date in which the first of the installment of the licensing fees are due to the state of Ohio from the 7 racetracks, and that will be a $13 million installment fee, and that starts tomorrow. So we would like to see the court give us a temporary restraining order until they can hear the full case. My comments will be brief, and then I would like for the co-plaintiffs to join us as well. They are Representative Seth Morgan, Representative John Adams, Representative Ron Amstutz, and then representing us as our attorney will be State Senator Tim Grendell. And we are pleased that these gentlemen have joined us in this suit. When the Ohio legislature and Governor Strickland rushed through House Bill 1 with the executive directive, they violated the state constitution, and that's the charge that we're going to make in our suit. There was no clear 3 readings of HB 1 in the final conference committee before it was voted on by the Ohio General Assembly. In fact, the over 3,000 pages that were presented no one at the Ohio House had time to read that final brief before it was voted on that day. That's simply put bad government. We're here today because we have no recourse. Generally, as a public policy voter education organization, we encourage our members to register to vote, participate in the electoral process, and to lobby their legislators and to write their legislators. Well, now that we've been en routed in this process 4 times in the past 2 decades, Ohio voters have resoundingly voted down any attempts to expand gambling in Ohio. By this action by Governor Strickland, he has expanded gambling and cheated the voters of Ohio in the process. Therefore, we have turned to the Ohio Supreme Court to hear our plea in this matter, and hoping that they will understand exactly what the issues are and grant us our hearing. The rest of my statements are available in a press release, and I at this time would like to introduce Representative Seth Morgan and Representative John Adams and Representative Ron Amstutz, who are also part of this lawsuit.
Thank you. As you know, there was in the last General Assembly that we challenged Keno, not in a court case, but legislatively we tried to challenge Keno. And as you know, the monies that were promised to come in from Keno, right now we're only running about half the revenues that they projected. Same case is going to happen with this when we when they do institute casino-style gambling. The revenues simply aren't going to be there, and this is the only recourse we have. I think it's a message to the elected officials that what you see in this this summer is the fact that those who are elected are starting to feel the heat that government is too big. Government's too big at the federal level, it's too big at the state level, and citizens are starting to react. And I support that for the simple fact that government, this is a backdoor attempt to get casino-style gambling in Ohio, and the people have no recourse except in this lawsuit, and that's I'm very regret for.
Thank you, Representative.
Today I am joining several of my colleagues and the lead plaintiff in this complaint being brought before the Ohio Supreme Court, asking our court to invalidate the recent actions of state officials who are attempting to install electronic slot machines at 7 racetracks here in Ohio. I believe that we need to stand up to the interests who are really mocking Ohio voters in this action. In doing so, they have violated our state constitution and the laws of the state of Ohio. Therefore, it's appropriate that we seek relief in the Ohio Supreme Court. Ohio state-run lottery was founded on the deceptive notion that it would solve the funding of our system of common schools, that it would solve those funding needs. Voters were then deceived a second time when they were led to believe that passing an amendment to our state constitution that requires all proceeds of the Ohio lottery to go into a separate fund and to be used solely for the funding of our schools, deceived in the belief that in so passing such a measure, that it would result in a net new funding stream to our schools. Now they're being arguably deceived a third time in the most egregious fashion. We are seeing, this is just so outrageous, you hardly know where to start, but this third attempt is, I think, the most cynical, sinister, and outrageous of the three deceptions that have been attempted. It's actually an effort to rewrite our state constitution via an executive order and loose complicity by the legislature. The voters never intended to authorize the state of Ohio to sponsor casino-style gambling in the measure that they did approve. A series of requirements in our social contract, our state constitution, are being violated, and we are here asking the Ohio Supreme Court to order appropriate remedy. I see the complaint filed today as working in a complementary fashion to the suit filed last week, I believe it was on September 3, and I know there will be significant citizen discussion about this issue. It's sad that that opportunity for participation didn't really present itself in any appropriate fashion during the deliberation in the state budget at the very end in those final days. But I think there will be additional discussion, and there should be, although the legal remedy needs to fall to the court. And of course, I guess the way I count, this is what we're talking about today is the fifth attempt to bring casino-style gambling to Ohio, and issue 3 is the sixth attempt that will also be discussed coterminous to this discussion before the Ohio Supreme Court. And it's my view, I won't go into all the merits of the issue, but I believe beyond the legal issues that we've taken up today, that this is a very bad idea for our state, that the net negative impact to our citizens will be substantial. It has not been calculated, it has not been planned for, and it will be devastating to, I believe, our economy by diverting much needed funds that are required for us to be competitive in the world market. So I won't go further, but I did want to stand up today with a number of others on this issue.